All right. Shalom, ahab, wa, baraka. In other words, peace, love, and blessings. And we're going to face the east, which we're already facing. And we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers over at GMS that have been bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years. We're not affiliated with GMS. We're not an affiliate camp. But after studying with them for over 6 years, I know that they have what I would consider the 100% truth. Now, for you guys, I don't know what you guys consider the truth is, because everybody seems to have their own take on reality. But today, we're going to get right into it. And the name of this class is What Does It Mean to Be a Light to the Gentiles? So go ahead. You got Amos chapter 3 up.
And verse 7.
Give me verse 7.
Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the Lord Yahweh will do nothing, but he ruleth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
That's right there. So surely Yahweh will do nothing, but he's going to reveal his secrets unto his prophets. Okay? So to be a light to the Gentile, first of all, you're going to have to be a prophet. Let's jump over to Isaiah chapter 49, and we're going to start at verse 6.
Isaiah chapter 49.
And we're going to start at verse 6. Here, watch this. Let me get it for you. I'm going to put it in the standard King James version, so it'll because we're not doing any classes. Hold on.
Reception is over there, more over there.
Yeah. The reception is not so great, but there you go. The reception's not so great over here. But the reason why we're doing a class right here, I'll be honest, flat broke. I have enough money to get into town and cash my check on Monday. So we have to literally conserve it. So for the last couple of weeks, we haven't been able to go out because we're just broke. That's all there is to it. I live 10 miles from the nearest gas station. I do not live in Tucson. I live 20 something miles outside of Tucson in the middle of the desert. So anyway, going back into it, get me. I'm gonna read Isaiah. I'm gonna read Amos 3 and 7 again.
Okay.
Thus saith Yahweh. Wait. I'm sorry. I'm gonna read Amos 3 and 7 again. It says, surely Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So to get true understanding, you're gonna have to go to those servants, the prophets, and then jump over to Isaiah chapter 49 and start at verse 6.
Isaiah chapter 49, verse 6, and he said, It is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to rise up the tribes of Jacob, and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth.
Okay, so he said that thou mayest, so listen very carefully. It says, it is a light thing that thou shouldest, oh wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. We're starting at verse 7. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant, to rise up the tribes of Jacob and restore and preserve Israel. So once again, when we go into these doctrines, it's only talking about Israel. Oh yeah, but it says light unto the Gentiles. Okay, well, let's keep reading. I will also give thee a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. So we got to go into what the word Gentile actually means, and I think that we'll have a better understanding of why it says we're going to be a light to the Gentiles. So go ahead, let's get verse 7 real quick, and then we're going to get a precept.
Thus saith the Lord Yahweh.
A little louder.
Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, the Redeemer of Israel, and his Holy One, to him whom man despiseth, to him whom the nation abhorreth, to a servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise, princes also shall worship, because of the Lord Yahweh that is faithful, and the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose thee.
So he's going to choose Israel. But there's more to it than that, because in verse 6 it says a light unto the Gentiles. So when you go into what the word Gentile means, they changed it. The word Gentile means heathen. So when you go into the word Gentile, it actually means or goy. And when you go into the word goy, it means heathen. Okay? So the reason why I'm trying to explain this to you is because go into 2 Kings. Give me 2 Kings right now.
2 Kings.
It's in the Old Testament, all the way at the where am I at?
Chapter
2 Kings, chapter 17. And so these Gentiles, these heathen that he is talking about, it goes into when the northern and southern kingdoms split, and I'm going to show you, according to Scripture, when we're talking about Gentiles, we're always telling you, no, people, it's only talking about Israel. So let me explain further. Get me 2 Kings 17, and I want you to start at verse 14.
2 Kings chapter 17 and 14.
Yes.
Notwithstanding, they would not hear, but harden their necks like to the neck of their fathers that did not believe in the Lord Yahweh.
So notwithstanding, they would not hear the truth. Okay? So keep going. Verse 15.
Verse 15, and they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them, and they followed vanity and became vain. And
vanity means worthlessness. So they became worthless. Keep going.
And became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord Yahweh had charged them that they should not do like them.
So we went after the heathen that were round about us. We started following the heathen cultures. Keep reading.
And they left all commandments of the Lord Yahweh their God, and made them molten images, and even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshipped all the hosts of heaven, and served Baal.
So they left off the commandments of the Most High. They stopped worshiping they stopped following the instructions that we were given at the time of Moses. Verse 17. Oh wait, you read that already, right?
No, I read 16.
So verse 17.
And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire, and used divination and enchantments, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of the Lord Yahweh, to provoke him to anger.
And so what did they do? They had graven images, they had groves, they served Baal and worshipped the hosts of heaven. So all of these false gods, in other words. And then in 17 it says that they're doing divination, they're doing enchantments. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So these are the things we were doing, and I'm building up to a point. I'm making a point. We were doing all these things. We're going off on all these different levels. So read verse 18.
Therefore the Lord Yahweh was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only.
There it is. There it is. The northern kingdom was called heathen because they left off from the truth, and only Judah was left. Let's prove that right now. We'll go to the book of Ezekiel really quick. to chapter 20.
Okay.
Ezekiel chapter 20, and we're going to go to
Ezekiel.
it's in the Old Testament. Ezekiel chapter 20, and give me verse 32. Here, have this one. We'll just share it. Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 32. This one works really good.
Okay. In verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 32. Okay. Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 32. That which cometh into your mind shall not be at all that ye say, we will be as the heathen.
Right there. As it comes. Keep reading.
As the families
Mm-hmm.
of the countries to serve wood and stone.
So let me read that again. It says, and that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all that ye say, we be as the heathen. This is when we were calling ourselves heathens. We right here, the northern kingdom was actually calling, the southern kingdom, Salakia, was calling the northern kingdom heathens. Now after a while, all of Israel actually fell off. We're all suffering the curses together as a whole nation. But at this time, this is where we were first being called Gentiles. We were no longer as our own people, but we were converting to the other nations. So when you guys go into this Gentile in your so-called New Testament, you don't understand that it's talking about when the northern kingdom fell off and we be as Gentiles. It literally tells you that we be as the heathen. That's why I showed you in the beginning of the class the word Gentile means heathen. So we're saying we be as the heathens, as the families of the countries to serve wood and stone. So now keep reading.
Verse
33. So what, and we already know that now we're as the heathens, and do you know what wood and stone is yet? Or shall we get a few more precepts and then tell you what wood and stone is? You know what? Let's get a few more. Let's keep reading, and then we'll go back to wood and stone in a second. So
Okay.
Go to verse 33. As I live, saith Yahweh.
As I live, saith Yahweh, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you.
So the Most High is going to rule over us, and it's not going to be good. He said with fury and a stretched out hand. In other words, he's going to judge us. Keep reading.
And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out.
So it's telling you that he's going to take us out of these nations which he has scattered us in, and he's not going to be nice about it. He is going to judge, and he's going to fulfill the prophecies according to Scripture. So let's go. Go back over to 2 Kings.
2 Kings.
Yeah, because let's see that judgment and how he's going to pull us out, and I think that's in 2 Kings. So let's go to 2 Kings. Back to chapter, I think it was 17, and got good reception right here on this one now. 17 and start at verse 39.
Okay.
Because remember, we're scattered in these other nations, serving wood and stone. We are among our enemies at this time and to this day. So keep reading. Verse 39.
2 Kings chapter 17. 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 39. But the Lord your God, Yahweh, ye shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the hand of all your enemies.
So the ones that fear the Most High are going to be delivered out of the hand of their enemies. Keep reading.
Howbeit they did not hearken, but they did after their former manner.
Keep reading.
So these nations feared the Lord Yahweh and served their graven images, both their children and their children's children, as did their fathers, so do they unto this day.
So unto this day, we are still serving that wood and stone. That's why I wanted to get this out first. Now, he said he's going to save the ones that he's going to deliver the ones from the hand of their enemies, the ones that fear him, the ones that hearken unto the word of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the ones that follow the instructions. I like to use the word commandments, but Christians take that and decided to take all of the commandments and do away with them and only have a few. So that's why I'm always using instruction, because you ain't doing away with the instructions. You can't make a cake and take half the instructions away and expect to have a cake. You're going to have a glob, a mess. You're going to have confusion. So let's go back into it. Let's get back over to wood and stone, because it tells you in the Second Kings, I think it was, where we would worship wood and stone, right? So go to Deuteronomy, or was it here, chapter? Go to Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and 64. Because I said that's a curse against us to be with the other nations worshiping wood and stone. So let's go back over to that, which was in, Salakia, it was in the book of Ezekiel. You go to the book of Deuteronomy 28. So I'm going to go to Ezekiel and get it again. Chapter
Deuteronomy 28 and 64.
20 and 32. So I'm going to read this again really quick. It says, and that which, Ezekiel.
Abba, you said Deuteronomy chapter 38 and 64.
I said Deuteronomy 28.
Yeah, 28.
Oh, you said 38 right now.
I said 20.
Okay, yeah, 28 and 64. Hold that for a second. I'm going to read this again real quick. Salaki, I thought you said 38. I cleaned my ears too. I finally got my ears cleaned. So going back to Ezekiel 20 and 32, it said, and that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone. That is a curse against us for following these other nations. So in Deuteronomy 28 and 64, let's get that curse.
And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth, even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Wood and stone. You see that? And so, and we're, what nation of people worship the wood, and what nation of people worship the stone? So when you go into it, the wood actually represents being a Christian. The cross for the Christianity is made out of wood. This is another reason why we try to tell you Christianity is not real. It is a false religion made up to keep you from entering the kingdom. It's very simple. And the stone, those are your Arab brothers, and if you go into the book Babylon the Timbuktu, you'll find out that we became Muslims by the tip of the sword. And what that means is that if we chose not to be a part of the Islam nation, they would put us to death. Let's go back into that wood real quick, because the wood actually, I would say, represents strongly, wholeheartedly Christianity, like everybody knows. And so when you go into that, You've got the Vatican, you've got the Europeans, and you got the Americans. And the funny thing about that is the American Europeans are the ones that brought Christianity to us. And it tells you in Deuteronomy 28 and verse 49, the Lord shall bring thee again, their Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. So those are the same people that have you worshiping wood and stone. You're the sacrifice, and they show you no favor. So the Most High, through a stretched out arm and through fury, he's going to deliver us. And that's what it's trying to tell us. So to be a light to the Gentile is to teach you who you really are, so you can wake up in these end times and get away from these false doctrines, these graven images, these false gods, and come back to the truth. That's the light. Let's go to, and it said with a stretched out arm, he's going to deliver us, right? So let's stay with that. Get me Jeremiah 30 and 7. Jeremiah is in the Old Testament.
I was looking.
You're in the New. See that? Isaiah, Jeremiah. $30. And 7. So Jeremiah 30 and 7, because in Isaiah, Ezekiel in 34, it said with a stretched out arm, or in 32 through 34, it says with a stretched out arm and with his fury, he's going to deliver us. So keep going.
Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it.
You hear that? So now we're getting somewhere. So we're a light to the Gentiles, but it says that there's going to be a great time where we're going to be saved, and at the same time it's telling us that he's going to do all these things, but it's not going to be fun. The delivery is going to be like giving birth. That's why they always refer it to a woman giving birth. It's going to be a very stressful, painful situation. In some cases, during childbirth, some women have died. And I'm not saying that women representing an Israelite falling back into the world, but as a whole, that woman represents the whole nation of Israel. And the birth is us being delivered from our enemies back into the hands of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. So get me Zechariah 3 and 8, because we're only dealing with the ones that he chose. So there's going to be a chosen elect that is going to be delivered on this side. Now all Israel is going to be saved, but the only ones that are going to receive the light of the Gentiles, we're going to be a light to the Gentiles. So what are we going to do? The only ones that wake up and realize that they're actually Israelites. Get me Zechariah 3 and 8.
Zechariah 3 and 8. Hear now, O Joshua, the high priest.
Zechariah.
Is that Zechariah?
3 and 8. Zephaniah. I'm sorry, Zephaniah. It's got to be Zephaniah 3 and 8. It's got to be. Hold on. Wait.
I already went on.
Where is my? No, it's Zechariah 3 and 8. I know it is. What in the? Hold on. What in the hell? That's. Sorry, Salakia. This is really irritating. 2/3 must die, 1/3 will live. 13 and 8. Salakia. So I'm like, what in the hell? Zechariah 13 and 8. I apologize. Salakia. Everybody was like, why am I not getting this right? I know this scripture. It's 13 and 8. Salakia. So Zechariah 13 and 8. Go ahead and get that.
Okay. Zechariah chapter 13, verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein.
So during that time of Jacob's trouble, we're going to have 2/3 of our people be cut off from Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai and die. So, and then that 1/3, that's why I said there's going to be a chosen elect. And when I was talking about the birth, like how some of the women in birth die, that's what I meant by that. Like, as a whole, the woman represents the nation of Israel. But individually, each bride for the bridegroom has to pay a curse and a recompense for their own sins, and if they don't turn back, they're cut off and die. Okay, and so, like I said, with the birth, it's a very painful situation for us to be delivered. A lot of people are going to fall off. Most of the people, we're going to be left few in number, even though we outnumber the sand of the sea. And so let's go to Daniel 12 and 1 real quick.
Daniel 12 and 1.
Yeah, because 1/3 are the chosen elect. That's that royal priesthood, that 1/3. The people that are going to sincerely come back to this truth. Well, the 144,000 within the 1/3. Also, that would be like the actual royal priesthood that teaches the 1/3 right from wrong. And that's that light that we're bringing back to the people. The light is the 100% truth. Go ahead and get me Daniel 12 and 1.
Daniel 12 and verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
There it is right there. So this great time of tribulation, this great deliverance, it's telling you that at that time the people are going to be delivered. In the same time as Jacob's trouble, the people are going to be delivered. But everyone that shall be found written in the book. Only 1/3 are going to see the light. They're going to receive the truth, in other words. Okay? So let's go to Isaiah 14, 1 and 2, because look, it's showing you that the people that are written in the book are going to be delivered. Go to Isaiah 14.
Do you want me to read verse
2? Yeah.
Daniel chapter 12 and 2. And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake, some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
I'm glad you read that. Some are going to receive the truth. Some are going to see the light. Some are going to receive the light, if you can understand that. And some are going to wake up and realize that they never worship the Most High. And they're going to be cut off and die. And it tells you in the book of Matthew, I think, depart from me, you workers of iniquity. For I do not know you, depart from me from the workers of iniquity, because you thought your whole life you were doing things for the Most High, but really you were just self-worshiping. Let's go over to the book of Isaiah chapter 14. Start from the top, because I told you that in Daniel, the people that are written in the book are going to be delivered. And so this is going to make a separation between us and the other nations at this time. When all the other nations think that they're going to be saved with us, and everybody keeps teaching you that, that's not the light. That is darkness. So go ahead and get me Isaiah 14, 1 and 2, so we can make sure that who's going to be delivered.
I was going to say, do you want me to read verse 1?
Yeah, verse 1 and 2.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 14 and 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel.
Let's stop right there for a second. It did not include any other nation. It didn't say Gentiles or heathen nations or any of that. It said it will yet choose Israel. The Lord will have mercy on Jacob and yet choose Israel. Keep reading.
And set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
The strangers are the Hellenized Israelites that you guys call Gentiles, that we were calling heathens all the way back in the book of Ezekiel 20 and 32. We were calling them heathens because they weren't following the laws. Okay? So the stranger is that Gentile that was Hellenized, that came back to the truth, and the person that was sleeping in the dust of the earth and then woke up to everlasting life. Verse 2.
And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that 1/3 that's being spoken of in Zechariah 13 and 8, also the people that are written in the book of life in Daniel 12 and 1, that make it through the tribulation of Jacob's trouble, which is in Jeremiah 30 and 7. So these are the people that are going to be the rulers over the kingdom forever, and rulers over the other nations. So let's keep reading though. Let's jump over to Isaiah 49 and 23.
Isaiah 49 and 23.
Isaiah chapter 49 and 23. And
Isaiah chapter 49, verse 23.
Wait, hold on. Let me go back to, you stay right there. I'm going to go and I want to show you something. Where I'm looking for something right now. Let me just stick with this right here. So it says that we're going to take them captives, whose captives we were. Get me Isaiah 29 and 43.
29 and 43? I thought you said 49 and 23.
I'm sorry, 49 and 23.
Isaiah chapter 49 and 23. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee, that their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
So the people that are that stand firm in this truth, those are going to be the people that are not ashamed. But I wanted to show you, the rulers of this nation are going to be taking care of our children as slaves. And it definitely tells you that the Edomites will no longer exist. So those guys are no part of this. They're going to be extinct. In fact, they're dying out right now. I'll be honest, they're not doing so hot. So let's jump around some more. Let's stay in the book of Isaiah. And I just wanted to show you that, but we're gonna go on that some more too. Go to chapter 60.
Chapter 60?
Yeah. And start from just start from the top.
Oops. Accidentally pressed 61. And chapter and verse. What verse?
Start from the top and read down through 4.
Okay. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee.
That light that's come is when the Most High put the Holy Spirit back in the prophets in these end times, that we can teach the truth to the 1/3, that we can come back to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. You got to understand something. I'm not here for everybody. I'm only here for 1/3 of the people. That's it. Keep reading.
For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
Let's get something real quick. What is the biblical definition of gross darkness? It says an intense and overwhelming spiritual condition of profound ignorance. Profound ignorance, not knowing shiznit, moral corruption, or divine judgment far beyond mere absence of light. You guys, this is why it's so important. This is why we know what the 100% truth is over here. Because we like to look stuff up. We like to research, just like the rest of our brothers that are sincere in this truth. So, so that gross darkness is often describing a dense, impenetrable cloud of sin and separation from Yahweh. Okay, so when it says that you're in gross darkness, spiritual condition of profound ignorance, moral corruption, often describing a dense, impenetrable cloud of sin and separation from Yahweh. Seen in Isaiah 60:2. Isn't that interesting? I'm looking up the definition. It's taking me back to the scripture. So go ahead and read verse 2 again.
For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee.
That's beautiful. So the people that receive this 100% truth, you're going to rise up, and the other people are going to see his glory upon you. That's beautiful. I mean, what more can you ask for in life? Keep reading.
And the Gentiles shall come to thy light.
The Gentiles, the people that were in times past, Israelites being called heathens, Hellenized Israelites that don't even know who they are. These are the Gentiles that are coming to the light. There is no place in the kingdom for other nations that have oppressed us. Remember, we're taking them captives, whose captives they were, and we're going to rule over our oppressors. So these Gentiles can't be saved like that. With the Gentiles, the way you guys describe them, it says the Gentiles will come to the light. So we're only talking about Israelites, Hellenized Israelites, Israelites that were being called heathen back in the book of Ezekiel because they refused to follow instruction. Keep reading, verse 4.
And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. Verse 4. Lift up thine eyes round about, and see, all they gather themselves together, they come to thee. Thy son shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side.
And who's going to nurse our fathers? I'm sorry, who's going to nurse our daughters? It's the kings and queens. Remember, they're going to be our nursing mates. They're going to be our servants. And that's why you guys got to understand, there's a lot of reasons why they're going to tell you being a Gentile means anybody. They don't want you to know that only Israel is going to be saved. They've been teaching against that for so many years. They actually believe the lies that they're pushing. Let's get math. Let's jump around a little bit. Let's go to the book of Matthew.
Matthew
Chapter 22. And 32.
32.
It's actually really peaceful out here.
So, Yahweh is speaking. I am the God of Abraham.
So this is Yahushua speaking, and he's saying, if you go back to verse 31 at the end, unto you by God, she said, I have not read that which was spoken unto you by Yahweh, saying. So Yahweh, what was Yahweh saying? Read it.
Matthew chapter 22 and verse 32.
And this is Yahushua speaking, quoting Yahweh. Go ahead.
I am the God of Abraham, and the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. God is not the God of the dead, but of the living.
So if he's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, those are the people. Those are the living. Those aren't the dead. The dead are the people that are not in this truth, that aren't part of the covenant. That's why it's not mentioning Abraham, Isaac, and through Jacob and his sons. That's where the promise is kept, the 12 tribes. You guys don't know that. You think the tribes are done away with? So the promise is done away with. Now everybody can get in. We're all going into the pearly gates together, which doesn't make sense because there's 12 gates, and if you try to go through the gate that your name isn't written, if your name, the name will be written above the gate. If your name isn't written above that gate, you will not be able to enter in through that gate. Now, I don't know whether they're going to slam the door on you, zap you with a laser beam, who knows, chop your head off with a sword, or maybe just tell you you're not allowed to enter. But there's 12 gates, and above each gate is the name of one of the sons of Jacob, 12 sons. And if you are not a descendant of one of those people, you will not enter into the kingdom. That's just the way it is. So, am I not the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob? Huh? What are you talking about? So, Yahweh is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. And what is the living? The people that come back into his marvelous light. The people that come back to his marvelous light. Which, I want to get that right now. Get me 1 Peter's.
1 Peter's?
Yeah. Chapter 2. It's not even in here. That should be like a go-to.
Chapter what? 2?
2.
And verse
9.
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, and holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of the darkness into his marvelous light.
There it is. That marvelous light is life. Can these dry bones live? Doesn't it? But anyway, him putting the life back into you is the word, waking up to the truth. Read the next one.
Verse 10, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of Yahweh, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy.
And that takes us back to 2 Kings chapter 17. And when we read 14 through 20, that's where we fell off. And Ezekiel 20 and 32, that's where we were calling ourselves heathen. Go back to 2 Kings though, and chapter 17, and because it says that in times past, we were no longer called the children of Israel, but now we are again called the children of Israel. So when you go to verse 17, it literally says, verse 18, therefore Yahweh was very angry with Israel and removed them out of sight. You are no longer a people. But then when you go into verse 10, let me pull it up real quick. When you go into verse 10, what does it say? I'm sorry, when you finish verse 9, it says you're a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people. In verse 10, it says that you were not a people, right? We were not a people. We were all of these things, but then we fell off. We turned our backs on the Most High. So now we're considered not a people. We're considered Gentiles. We're considered heathens. But he says that you were not a people, but now the people of Yahweh, because he said that he was going to be angry at us. Remember? And we provoked him to that anger. So they did evil in the sight of Yahweh in verse 17, right? And therefore Yahweh was very angry with Israel. Okay? We were falling off. We chose not to follow the instructions. And then you jump up to verse 39, it says that the Lord your God shall fear, and he shall deliver you out of the hand of your enemies. So, right there, he was mad at us. We provoked him to anger. He literally said that that remove them out of his sight. So that is the time where we were not Israel. We were provoked him to anger, and then he still came back in the end, even at the end of this chapter. Howbeit they did not hearken, but they did after their former manner. In other words, you guys went back to wood and stone. No matter how much we teach, you're going to keep going back to false doctrine until Yahweh comes and destroys you. But it says right here in 41, so these nations feared Yahweh and served their graven images. But their children and their children's children did so after also did their fathers, as did their fathers, Salakia, so the children's children, as did their fathers, and so do they unto this day. So unto this day, you guys are still doing the wrong thing. So what the Most High is going to do to you, he's going to, let me just get it real quick. Let me just get another precept I wasn't planning on bringing out, honestly. Isaiah chapter 66, right? And 15, it says, for behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. So when he comes to deliver us, there's going to be a lot of slain. And it says, go back to Ezekiel again. Sorry, I got to go back through these again just to show you guys that he's going to plead with all flesh. But in Ezekiel chapter 20 again, and 34, it says, and I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein I scattered you with a mighty hand. That's with the fire and in the whirlwind and the chariots, and in pleading with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. That's what it's talking about. And so where I've scattered you with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. That fury poured out is the flames of fire. Now let's jump back over to let's go to the book of let me check this real quick. I have another precept I want to bring out, the royal priesthood. So we know that we're going to be delivered, and we know that in times past he had turned his back on us, right? Read, are you still in Ezekiel? Good. Go back to verse 30, 30, no, go back to First Peter's is what it was. Go back to 1 Peter's 2 and 10. And I'm going to go over it because remember with the stretched out arm, and he's going to deliver us. So read 10 again.
Which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of Yahweh.
There it is. In times past, he wasn't dealing with us. He removed us. But now he's starting to look at us again. And so he's going to deliver the ones that fear him, the ones that come back to the instructions. Let's jump over to the book of, I wanted to check out what was in, I thought I had a precept, and I don't know why I didn't bring this out earlier. I feel like this one might have wanted to come out earlier. Let's check it. Get me I want to, I guess let's go right back into this. So in times past, we were not and let me get this really quick. It says, which in times past you were not a people, but are now a people of Yahweh, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. Go over to the book of Acts, chapter 13, and then go to verse 47.
Acts chapter 13 and verse 47. For so hath the Lord commanded us, saying, I have set thee to be a light of the Gentiles, that thou shouldest be for salvation unto the ends of the earth.
Right there. Wait. So he's saying that, so in times past we weren't, and now we are receiving salvation. So that light is the 1/3, once again, waking up to the truth. Read verse 48.
And when the Gentiles heard this, they were glad and glorified the word of the Lord Yahweh, and as many as were ordained to eternal life believed.
So the people that he had already chosen, once they heard this, they instantly started believing and were joyful. That's why I'm telling you, you other guys want to, you want to justify bullshit because you hear this truth and you weren't glad. You wanted to justify your own wicked lifestyle and your own wicked doctrine, which takes you directly out of the kingdom. And what do we say about that? I mean, honestly, it says to rebuke them sharply, right? So we'll get that too. We should get that too. But let's go over to the book of Matthew real quick. I'm going to do some jumping around now. I'm getting into some notes that I don't remember. So let's see what we got. Matthew chapter 22 and start at verse 32. Oh, we already got that. Let's go to the book of, I said we have to rebuke them sharply, right? So let's just go with that. And we were, get me Leviticus 19 and 17.
Leviticus. And chapter. What chapter?
19.
Verse
17, because I said you have to rebuke them sharply, and that's part of being in the light. I don't know if you guys understand that, but if you're going off and a brother tells you what the 100% truth is and you get offended by it, it just means that you're not ready for the truth. It means that you can't handle the truth. It means that you're going to continue to justify. But we're taught as the children, disciples, teachers, prophets, apostles, elders, we're all taught the same thing, and it's to correct people when they're wrong, and that is truly bringing the light back into you. So go ahead and get me Leviticus 19 and 17.
19 and 17.
Yep.
Leviticus 19 and 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon them.
So keeping you out of sin, because what happens when you go away from the instructions? You provoke Yahweh to anger. So for a brother to come and say, "Hey, I love my brother, I love my neighbor so much. I'm gonna tell him, hey man, that was wrong. That right there, it's wrong. Okay, we got that corrected for you. Now it's up to you to receive correction." That's why there's 2/3 that fall off and die, because 2/3 of you can't receive correction. Let's confirm that. Let's confirm that. Give me Amos chapter 5 and verse 10.
Amos chapter 5 and verse 10.
Let's confirm it. That we're supposed to rebuke our brothers sharply, so they'll be I don't want to say it wrong.
Amos chapter 5 and verse 10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly.
Whoops, that was the wrong one. Go to Titus 1 and but they do. The children of Israel do. That's funny that I put that in right after. Once we give correction, what did I say? 2/3 of you are going to fall off and die because you're going to justify bullshit because you hate the truth. But that's not even the one I wanted to bring out. That was by accident. Get me Titus 1 and 13.
Titus chapter 1 and 13. This witness is true. Wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith.
Rebuke them sharply, firmly. Let them know that what they're doing is going all the way off. Now, if they can receive that, that means they receive the light. That means that they are ready to come back to the truth. 90% of, I say, 2/3 of people are always going to reject or forbear the correction. So forbear actually means to reject correction. And you know what? Let's just jump around some more. So we were going to rebuke them sharply. We know that they hate us for telling the truth. So once we rebuke them, they still kind of just fall away. That's why they've provoked Yahweh to anger. There's 1/3 though. Those are the Gentiles that come back into the light. Not just Gentiles, but Israel, and then the Gentiles are the Hellenized, or the ones that we were calling heathens all the way since we provoked Yahweh to anger in 2 Kings. So let's keep going. Colossians chapter 2.
Colossians chapter 2.
Mm-hmm.
This one right here,
Colossians. Yep, C-O-L-O. Yep, that's Colossians. Chapter 2 and verse 8.
Colossians chapter 2 and 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Yahushua.
Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. What does vain mean? Worthless. What does deceit mean? Lies. He's going to fool you through worthless lies after the traditions of men. And that goes into saying, oh, well, Gentiles, that's everybody right now. There are no Israelites left. They're extinct. That was in biblical times. There are no Edomites. But that means that the Bible's done away with, and the curses and the blessings and all of the prophecies that have to be fulfilled to say something like that. So this is how they spoil you. This is how they ruin you, through philosophy and worthless lies after the traditions of men, because these other nations are trying to teach you that everybody can be saved. They're the same ones giving you a European depiction of everything. Everything, not just Israel, but everything now has a European depiction. I guarantee you in 100 years, Michael Jordan's going to be a so-called Edomite. Remember, you're gonna see some dude painting them white. So you just got to remember that we've got to rebuke these people sharply, because if you don't, you're gonna fall right into their lies, or maybe somebody else might hear them and you start rebuking them and they don't fall into their lies. Let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 4.
2 Timothy chapter 4. 2
Timothy. Start at verse 2.
2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 2. Preach the word, be instant.
Start with verse 1, I'm sorry.
Okay. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 1. I charge thee therefore before Yahweh and the Lord Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom.
Watch out, all of you that are dead in spirit, the ones that are that are teaching the traditions of men, the ones that we've rebuked sharply and you still forbeared the truth, or the ones that know the truth and choose to take a bag and teach the children of Israel that all nations can be saved and Gentiles are all the other nations and anybody can go into these wide pearly gates. We're all holding hands into that. All those lies are going to get destroyed. It says, reprove, rebuke, exhort, long-suffering, doctrine. Keep reading.
Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
And you guys know what it means to reprove, to rebuke, to exhort. Rebuke, correct. Exhort, encourage. You're supposed to be encouraging with all long suffering and doctrine. You're encouraging people with this truth. You're not going to encourage them by telling them a lie, then asking them to give a donation. I'm sorry, that's not the light. That's gross darkness. Gross darkness.
You want me to read 4?
Yeah,
3 and 4?
Yeah, please.
For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine.
The time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. That's this day and age. That's why you have, so from 1978 into the early 2000s, you get all of your updated versions of the Bible. The retranslating English back into a better English, which is actually, the more you translate it, the further it is from the truth. So when you guys are reading the NIV, which is from like 1978, that Bible hasn't been around as long as me. I'm older than the NIV Bible. So just think about that. These new rewrites that you guys are going through are that's what's destroying you. It says, there will come a time when they will not endure sound doctrine. How many times do you have to rewrite the Bible before you get it right? We can go back to the 1300 Wycliffe Bible and just clear up a lot of this mess right now, all the way even into the King James, the Cloverdale, the Geneva. The Wycliffe will clear all that up. That's one Bible from the 1300s. And so you guys got to understand that we're in these last days. Since 1978, they've been rewriting and updating the doctrine. And what does it tell you in Revelation 22:18 and 19? Add to the book or take away from the book, you're doomed. That's a really rough paraphrase. So let's go back into it.
For the time will come where they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap themselves teachers having itching ears. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables.
And what's a fable? Lies. So the truth is going to be turned into a lie because you guys will not endure sound doctrine, but you would rather have the teachers that teach false doctrines, the teachers with itching ears. 2 Timothy 2 and 7.
2 Timothy 2.
So stay in the 2 Timothy, go to chapter 2. And then, wait a second. Is that right? Am I in the right one? Read it.
2 Timothy 2:7. Consider what I say, and the Lord give thee understanding in all things.
Right there. Consider what I say, and I'm going to give you understanding in all things. Get James 1:5 real quick.
James 1:5.
To consider, to accept, to receive what he says. He's going to give you understanding in all things. So read James 1:5.
James chapter 1, verse 5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of Yahweh that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him.
So it's telling you right there, we're confirming it. Consider what I say. So when you hear this truth, if you stick with it, for free. For free, he's going to put the light in you. For free, you will receive this light. But you have to do everything in sincerity. Upbraideth not. In other words, you can't go back into the world and come back to the truth and go back to the world. He's going to get tired of that and he's just going to reject you. Okay, Matt, let's get a couple more verses and then we're going to shut it down. Matthew 23.
Matthew 23.
And 36, I think.
36.
Yeah, definitely read that.
Matthew chapter 23 and 36, Yahushua speaking. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation.
And that's what I wanted to read, just that. All the things that I'm talking about right now, the coming into the light, the people that were dead in spirit, that are now waking up to the truth, the stubborn Israelites that are going to be calling upon the correct name when he stretches out his arm in fury, pursuant to what is really going to happen, is written in the book of Isaiah 66:15 and 16, with the fire, the chariots from the sky, the sword, which represents our enemy. He's going to use all those things to plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many, right? So, verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. Now, when you go into Revelation, give me Revelation chapter 11, and get me verse 13 and 14.
Revelation 11 and
13 and 14. Because this is the generation this is getting ready to happen to. Read.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 13. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell in the earthquake. Were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant of affrighted, and gave glory to the Yahweh of heaven.
So the 1/3, if you were to go back one verse, is already saved. We see the destruction and we give glory to Yahweh. It says, but I said this is going to happen in this generation. So that what are people saying right now? Babylon is fallen, is fallen. That is America, is secret Babylon. Why are we secret Babylon? Not me, but the people that are part of this culture. I gave it away right there. The people that are a part of this culture. This is a Babylonian culture that we live under. That's like all of our high holy days and our like the Easter, Christmas, New Year's. That's all Babylonian.
The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
Now these things are going to happen in this generation. Do you know what the second woe is? The second woe was World War II. The third woe cometh quickly. World War III. That's why I'm telling you, all these things are going to happen in this generation. These things. So we're at World War III. They're saying 2000. We're already in World War III. The whole fucking earth is fighting right now. And in 2026, they're saying that they're going to really get it lit, for the lack of better words. It's going to get lit. And then they're going to do their false flag, and then they're going to bring in that MOTB, and it's going to be mandatory, no buying, selling, or trading unless you receive a subdermal implant placed beneath your skin. So you guys that are in gross darkness aren't going to understand that. But you guys that are in the light, you're going to know better. The Most High is going to save you. Let's get a couple more verses and then shut it down. Let's go to Psalms 111. Psalm 111. And go to verse 10.
Psalms 111 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have they all. Do his commandments. His praise endureth forever.
So the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. That's the beginning of you seeing the light. All of a sudden there's a little spark. You can see it because you're starting to see right from wrong. You're starting to wake up to this truth. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. Like I said, I don't really like to use the word commandments because the Christians hijacked it. And they like to tell you, oh, when you say commandments in your mind, you think, oh, there's only 10. No, there's 613 laws, statutes, commandments, direct commands. But anyway, let me keep going. A good understanding is them that do all of his instructions. You can't do away with the word instructions and say, oh, there's only some of the instructions. No, we need all the instructions. That's why I use that word these days, because of the way they've taken the word commandment and twisted it into 10 verses when there's full of the whole, pretty much the whole Torah is literally the law being stated to us and how to use it. So also it says his praise endureth forever, but only to those that fear him and do his instructions. So go ahead and let's stay in Psalms 111. I'm sorry, let's stay in Psalms and go to chapter
112.
Yeah.
1 through 4.
Yes.
Psalms 112, verse 1. Praise ye the Lord, Yahweh. Blessed is the man that feareth the Lord Yahweh, that delighteth greatly in his commandments.
That's beautiful. Praise ye Yahweh. Blessed is the man that follow his instructions. Remember, keeping his commandments, that's the fear of the Lord. That's the beginning of understanding.
His seed shall be mighty upon earth. This generation of the upright shall be blessed.
His seed shall be mighty on the earth. That is the Israelites that Christians are telling you that are done away with. That seed is that 1/3 right now that's bringing us all back into the 100% truth. Keep reading.
Wealth and riches shall be in his house, and his righteousness endureth forever.
And that's self-explanatory. Keep reading.
Unto the upright there ariseth the light in the darkness. He is gracious and full of compassion and righteousness.
And there's our point.
Righteous.
Unto the upright there arises light in the darkness. So for the upright that are in that darkness, you are going to see this light. So when you hear the truth coming out, there should be some kind of spark inside of you. Something telling you, hey, wait, listen to this some more. I need more information. This is really making me feel different from the inside out. That is the true light, which is the Holy Spirit. So let's get one more. Let me look at it first, because this one I wasn't sure if I was going to put it in the class or not. But I mean, why not, right? Let's get it first.
2 Corinthians.
Corinthians
chapter.
Yep. Go give me verse 17. Corinthians 2 and 17. 2 Corinthians 2 and 17.
17.
Yep.
2 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 17. For we are not as many which corrupt the word of Yahweh, but as of sincerity, but as of Yahweh, in the sight of Yahweh speak, we in Yahweh Shai.
For we are not as many. So the multitude, the masses, what they do is corrupt the word of Yahweh. We're not part of that group. We're few in number. Don't you understand that? You guys think that you guys are in the light because look at all of our numbers, our great math. That's what IUIC and no camps be thinking too. They all think that because they have great numbers that they're in the truth. But it says we are not as many because the many, the great multitude, are corrupt. They corrupt the word of Yahweh. But we're not like them. But as of sincerity, but as of Yahweh, in the sight of Yahweh, we speak in Yahweh Shai. So we're out here speaking the 100% truth, teaching exactly what Yahweh Shai taught. And if anybody tries to tell me that Yahweh Shai said everybody can be saved, then we need to go to Matthew 15 and 24, where it teaches you clearly that he said unto the woman, it's not good to give let me get it. I don't even want to mess it up. So for all you guys that are trying to say everybody can be saved and that Yahweh Shai was teaching that, that's why it says you guys corrupt the word of Yahweh, and we're speaking in Yahweh Shai. So let me get it really quick. Buddy, this is Matthew chapter 15 and 24, but he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He was only sent for Israelites. So to corrupt the word and try to say to be a light to the Gentiles, to be a light to everybody on earth, you're lying. You're lying to me, and you're lying to anybody that can hear you. And the Most High is going to deal with you for that, because he said we're not as many. Remember that. We're not as the multitudes that tell corrupt doctrine to the people. Let's get one more verse and then we're out of here.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his works shall be.
So your reward is going to be in who you are in life. Now, I tell you guys this every week. What you're doing right now is what you're going to be repaid for when it's the day of judgment. And with that being said, if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. And like I said, I hope you got something out of this message. Shalom.